How's it going? This is Crazy316 here with you once again. I'm making this video to address my concerns with the direction conservatism is going. Not in terms of the leadership, but in terms of the body that forms it. I've been very active on Facebook in the comment sections of conservative articles and Facebook pages like the Drudge Report, Tea Party News Network, Mad World News, etc. One thing that is universally present on these and other conservative pages is race baiting. I mean race baiting on the level of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, but for white folks. It's gotten to the point to where conservatives are starting to sound worse than liberals, in a sense. Conservatives have been so sidetracked in trying to counter the narrative of the Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown protesters that they themselves have become the very thing that we're trying to fight against. As a black conservative myself, this is what I've personally experienced. First and foremost, let me begin by saying I have been seeing some conservatives challenging and scolding the racists, and I'm certain most conservatives are not racists. But we are allowing more and more racists into our camp, and these people are getting tons of likes, and none of these pages are doing a thing to moderate the content in the comments section. I've been seeing so many foul and putrid racist comments, blanket generalizing of the black community overall for actions of a tiny fraction, and hundreds of comments calling us niggers, monkeys, apes, you name it. It's not logical to judge an entire race for a small fraction. Let me break down the population versus crime for you. According to the population of 2010, the total black population with black Hispanic was 38,929,319. The total black crime was 2,846,862. The percent of the population committing crime was 7.3%. The percent of the population not committing crime was 92.7%. The total white population with white Hispanic was 223,553,265. Total white crime 7,066,154. Percent of population committing crime 3.1%. Percent not committing crime 96.9%. Nobody is denying that black people commit more crime per capita, but neither of those numbers are a significant amount of either race committing crime. So my point is all the anti-black hate on conservative pages is unwarranted when the sweeping majority of the black population does not even commit crime. This is on top of the fact it is proven black people get harsher sentences for the same crime as a white person. In addition, a black person is more likely to get death row for killing a white person than a white person is for killing a black person. Black high school dropouts have declined from 1972 at 22.3% to 2006 at 9.7%. There are more black men in college than prison. Black homicide is on the decline. Contrary to popular belief, via conservative media, black people are not the evil beings they portray us out to be. Also contrary to popular belief, black people are not the leading offenders of violent crimes. From 2012, Hispanics are at 60%, then blacks at 58%, then whites at 49% of their total separate prison populations. As for sexual assault, whites lead the way at 17%, followed by Hispanics at 13%, and blacks at the lowest amount of sexual assault perpetrators of their total prison populations. While black men make up 40% of the prison population, of that 40%, the majority are not violent offenders, and they are certainly not the majority of sexual offenders. For women, out of 201,200 inmates in 2009, white women make up the majority of the prison population at 92,100, followed by black women at 64,800, then Hispanic women at 32,300. Funny thing is, I've been accused of being a liberal for challenging the twisted worldview these type of people have. I'm just so over the race baiting overall. Both sides are acting like children now, and it's as if we can't focus on the issues that matter. There are so many scandals under the current administration, and here we are bitching about who's doing the most crime, when neither race is doing a significant amount of crime when compared to the remaining 90+% of each race not committing crime. In addition to that little issue, how do you think this kind of foul rhetoric looks to the very minorities we're trying to reach out to? I'll give you a clue. It makes even me sick to my stomach and want to distance myself from conservatism. The problem is, Unlike the low IQ imbeciles that make these comments and generalizations, I adhere to the original principles of conservatism. Therefore, leaving conservatism makes about as much sense as trying to not be black. And I love my blackness, so that would never happen. Don't get me wrong, I know the black community has its issues, but so does every other community. Which brings me to another point. Stop bringing up black-on-black crime over and over again. It becomes an irrelevant point when you actually research the stats. Once you do, you'll see that every race has a high intraracial crime. While 91% of black people are killed by other black people, 86% of white people are killed by other white people. You'll excuse me if I don't see the significance in the 5% difference. They're both high. This isn't some epidemic that's exclusive to the black community. You'll find similar numbers no matter what race you research. I'm not one to ever use the race card. I've defended my fair share of white conservatives who have been accused of racism. But since the Trayvon Martin debacle, I've concluded that on race issues, both the left and right have become illegitimate sources of information biased in their own extreme corners. Where liberals are abusing the race card to the point of ridiculousness, we have conservatives using half-truths to push a certain narrative about black people overall. Pretty much doing the same things as liberals in reverse. If we want to preserve the integrity of conservatism's image, we must challenge idiots like this and prevent them from turning everything into a racial argument. I swear it's like I'm stuck here in the middle where sanity and critical thinking reside. At least that's just how I feel anyway. Like, for fuck's sake, can we move on to more important things like ISIS being a global threat? Perhaps we can focus back on the fact the border is not secure and people are pouring into our country illegally? You know? Anyhow, with that being said, I'm done with my rant. You could join me on Facebook if you like. I'll leave links in the low bar. And rate this video. This is Crazy316. I'm out.